Hare Krishna, all devotees, Hare Krishna. As our routine, we'll start with our invocation prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakya Chakshara Unmilitanayena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasavadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome and our obeisance to Radha Govinda deities. Today is the 13th day, very auspicious day, and you're all, many of you, maybe like it's a holiday for you, and like Saturday, Sunday weekends, but you've joined early morning. So welcome to all the devotees. We had good, very nice chanting by Grishma Mataji and Rupa Manjari Mataji, and both of them gave one bhajan also. And I expect all of you to get involved in the Sankirtana. And as Rupa Manjari Mataji correctly said, that was totally on the association, and we did talk about the association yesterday. And I'm sure a lot of you are into that association, and we have been chanting for two of our devotees, known people. I'm sure you're all doing the mantras for their well-being. So having said, we have completed two modules in the sense. So Karma Yoga 1 to 6, and then second part was Bhakti Yoga. But as I told you, Bhakti has been running through. Now, as every time, as usual, we do 5 to 10 minutes of relating Bhagavad Gita, because this is the science and spirituality class. We have been doing few exercises on self-awareness, motivation, inspiration, mainly mind control. And so some of that will be useful, I'm sure. And in the beginning, I gave around 6 to 7 questions. I asked you to write that, you write down and find out where is the change, what is the change. Today is the 13th day, so 12 days have already passed. And of course, I'm sure many of you must have been, associated with this Krishna consciousness, and also reading Bhagavad Gita. But still, I would really love that you all share your experiences in the differences that you find in yourself, in your environment, and trying to make others also get into or get involved. So such reflection is always good, each one of you. So the feeling, that's what today we are going to talk about, just for a few minutes, about feelings. It's my choice. How I feel, it's my choice. Okay, nobody can. They can, of course, they can, instigate and, make sure that you don't feel good, but that's in our hands. So let's move on to today, as it is a Kshetranya Yoga. So it's all the environmental events, okay? The sensory input perceptions. Now, how these interpretations, cognitions. So we start self-talking. We assume things, we talk, because we use all, through your eyes, nose, your ears, everything. Sensory input is going, okay? So we interpret according to what we perceive, what we understand, whatever we are able to with all those senses. Then emotional and physical system is established the way it has to be. So your sensory input, the way you are perceived, is already gone into So the 10% of your, whatever you are going to do in the conscious level, it will be there, as we explained, that 90% in the subconscious mind. So that 90% subconscious mind is in the memory. And from there, it starts coming out. And that's how you're going to interact. That's how you're going to talk. That's how you're going to feel. That's how you're going to, get those ideas, and your behavior, your pattern, your attitudes, everything will be set on that way. Okay. So now, today we'll just focus few seconds on the mind control. The thinking process is very important. And rationally, do I think or not? Do I really in that? So these two images are balanced way, whether it is hate or, like or dislike, anxiety or happiness or sadness, distress, whatever. So am I taking it in the balanced way? Or am I in the Ananda mode? That's what it is like. So we feel the way we think. The way we think, we feel. What you say to yourself, it's a very important word. What you say to yourself determines your feelings. So the messages that goes to your mind through those sensory organs and through that environmental, wherever you are, that association. So everything is linked. And that is what we are going to go into Bhagavad Gita in detail about Kshetra Kshetranyam, the field, okay, the environmental factors, the material world. So what is this rational thinking? Everybody has to approve me. Everybody has to like me. What will people think? I don't know if I'm not perfect, I'm no good. So are they all irrational beliefs or rational beliefs? So reasoning or thinking by using reasons properly. Okay, so thinking based on facts or good evidences or justified beliefs. I have faith in Krishna, and then that the fact and evidences are all in the scripts. Krishna himself is speaking. So my total devotional services will go on my rational thinking. What I think, is it logic? Is it logic to get into this devotional service? Why? So we are just connecting that. I'm just connecting. Okay, rational thinking is basically how optimistic you are, what is your belief system, how well you have assimilated all those systems into your minds. Thinking by following the right method or the right steps, which are known as the correct rules of inferences. We all infer. Okay, if somebody is talking, we will infer from their talk our own assumptions. Maybe it is right, may not be it is right. Maybe it's wrong also, but you will assume, you will imagine, you will infer about their behavior, about their personality. I'm telling you, it may be wrong. That's why Vaishnava, the first rule is do not analyze people. DAP, don't analyze people. We are pure devotee, should never analyze people. Just take them in as it is, because they are, Krishna is residing in everyone's heart as an Antaryami. So correct rules of inferences to draw conclusions or implications from, say, a fact or a statement, a group of evidences, or a justified belief. So for the everyday day-to-day activities, you can just think, do I do this? Am I trying to, think beyond? Is it required? Am I wasting, or anartha vritti? Am I wasting all my energy? Is it anartham? Okay, so this is how one has to have the thought process. That will automatically become the rational thinking instead of irrational. So the thinking goes into belief. Okay, once you start thinking, that will get into your belief system. And once you get into that belief system, oh, that person is like this because he talked like this, and that person is no good. That belief goes on, and that feeling towards that person also sets in. That becomes your personality. Maybe it is absolutely not necessary. So it doesn't lead to any optimistic approach. It will lead to pessimistic. That will become too negative. Okay, if I'm going to think and observe all goodness in a person, just take that and then keep blessing, keep appreciating, keep admiring, keep giving the gratitude. That's, yesterday we saw Jagai Madai, the story also in that. Now, this Bloom's taxonomy, I don't know how many of you if you are in the teaching line or something, this is the basis for all your graduation in education or post-graduation in education or many of the management courses, where this Bloom's taxonomy is even for your question paper setting, any board exam, your say CBSE 10th, 12th grades, all these exams are all based on these questions. Knowledge, then understanding. Every day I've been explaining this also. Once you understand certain things, you apply to that your life. So that application of the knowledge, and then start analyzing. Then you start connecting. Connect with what? Connect with the day-to-day, whatever you are seeing. Then evaluate. Once you evaluate, your thinking process will always change. So this is based on the critical thinking, creative thinking. This is the base of Bloom's taxonomy. But this is the principle. So we all have to have the knowledge. Now, right now, we are getting the knowledge from Bhagavad Gita. We understand, perceived, took it inside, will apply to our life. Purities, external purities, internal purities, dhyana, devotional service, unalloyed devotional service, and having good association, having sadhu sangat, sankirtana, nama japa, chanting. So one after another, we'll start applying with the knowledge that we have. Then we will analyze it. How do we analyze? All Krishna's pastimes, once you start explaining to the others, so somehow or other, so the liberation mode, okay, then you start connecting it with super soul. It is just not the evaluation. So what I'm just trying to connect the Bloom's taxonomy for all the knowledge that we get, whatever knowledge, that finally, ultimately, when your intelligent quotient is not connected with your emotional quotient or spiritual quotient, we can never set the goal. We can never achieve the goal. Okay, so all humans are fallible creatures. This is an inescapable truth. You cannot escape from this. If you have not set reasonable quotas of failure for yourself and others, because up and down, you see the ECG has to go up and down. If it is straight, then one person is dead. So that's how the life is also. So you increase the prospects for your disappointment and unhappiness. That means the reasonable quotas of failure, that will always happen. We have to accept that will happen. The pain and the grief and the sadness, pleasure and happiness. So it will all go hand in hand. The original cause is lost in antiquity. Antiquity is the great age, so it has got lost. It is a waste of your time to try to discover who did what first. It is often impossible to find the original cause of chronic painful emotions. As such, dilemmas are usually extremely complicated. It's all related with thinking. Okay, so do not think too much, too beyond. Who did what? Why? What happened? This is the reason why I didn't get into this. Why? This is the reason why I am not having that. I wish I had all that. So the best strategy is to make decisions to change your behavior now. Okay, the thinking and feeling, we need to give a detour, that is divert. So dva vimau purushau loke charash charayevacha charah sarvani bhutani kutasto akshara uchyate. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible. So we are also there in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible. Okay, it will come now. So you're watching when only the Supreme Soul, all the demon, all the demigods and everybody, they're all Nityasuris also. You see Vishnu, you see Brahma, Shiva, Narada, Garuda, everyone worshipping him. So how you feel is always your choice. Why did that that image came in between? Is because your feeling, your thought, your mind, total devotion. Then we will not analyze the people. We will be in that trance. We will be just in that mode. Whomsoever you see, be kind, be nature. See, even among 30 people, if you are sitting, We have to be very intelligent and smart enough to understand what's happening, but we don't have to analyze and we don't have to go into depth. Okay. So how you feel is always is your choice. Other people may provide provocation. They will instigate, they will provocate you. But ultimately, you always choose how you feel in response. How do you feel? Just give a smile and keep going. If it is not of your interest. Effective individual develop the habit of perceiving and interpreting potential problems in ways that give their life meaning and a sense of control, a control of all the senses. See, it is so related, you might think that it is a psychology class, but I'm just picking out some of the tips which is so much related and what Krishna is asking us to do. Feeling, thinking, cognizant of thought promotions and what thoughts. How do you see? He's been explaining it to Arjuna, but it is so relevant to us in everyday, day-to-day life. So they look for reasons to be happy and satisfied with life, imperfect as it is. Those who do not analyze people, those who are very rational, those who think, those who feel, that this is the right thing to do. Flexible optimists. They are all optimists. They are all positive thinkers. They think that everything is for everything what Krishna, he is a cause, and what he does is right. So flexible optimists are people who are filled with hope, but who keep their eyes open. They distinguish between what they can and cannot control. We saw in the mind control, what you can, what you cannot, and focus on the former. Former is here what you can. So there are something which you cannot. So just do the Chintan Manan of what we learned today to apply to your life and to connect it with Bhagavad Gita, what Arjuna is asking and what Krishna is answering. It is so relevant. So every day you have to apply that knowledge that we learn, that we get from here. Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. So this is the 13th chapter, that is nature, the enjoyer, and the consciousness. Okay, so this is the total jnana. We are going into the knowledge. That is the third module. Is bhakti. Yesterday also I just showed, but then today we'll have a little more detail about this. If bhakti is a culmination, why is jnana presented in the last 6 chapters? Okay, in truth, the entire Bhagavad Gita is bhakti. The first 6 chapters discuss how to achieve bhakti through work, karma, nishkama karma yoga with Krishna consciousness. The last 6 describe how to achieve it through knowledge. And the middle 6 discuss bhakti itself. So the middle 6, what we did, what is bhakti, okay, and how do you achieve it. Also in the 12th chapter, Krishna explained how he personally delivers his devotees from birth and death. That's what we saw yesterday, bhakti in Bhakti Yoga. So the last 6 chapters provide the philosophical knowledge necessary to extricate oneself from the material world. All the philosophical knowledge. How do you come out of this entanglement? How do you get liberated? How do you not get, fall into this, all your desires? And then, the lust, greed, and anger, how do we come out? So jnana has its use in assisting our detachment from Maya and attachment to Krishna. Hence, when we use knowledge as a means to attain devotion, it becomes a part of bhakti. So these are the questions that Arjuna is asking. That is the first one in 13th chapter. So he's asking, what is Prakriti? What is Purusha? And what is Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnanam, Jneyam? These 6 questions. Okay. So what is Prakriti? It's material nature. The original or natural form or condition of anything. Original or primary substance. It's in detail, it's given here. We will be doing it in level 2 in detail about each and everything. Every sloka has got purports of Prabhupada's in the book. I'm sure many of you are reading, studying, not for the quiz, but then for your own interest whenever you have time. So who is Purusha? Is the enjoyer. Okay, Purusha is the soul of the universe. Krishna is the only Purusha, the universal spirit present everywhere, in everything and everyone all the time. Purusha is the universal principle that is eternal, indestructible, without form and all pervasive. Kshetra. Kshetra is the body, that is Shariram. The body is called Kshetra, or the field of activity for the conditioned soul. Okay. Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna is observer of the body soul. Super soul, that is knower in all the bodies. Kshetrajna is in every body, that is the super soul. Jnanam. Jnanam is it's all Sanskrit word only. Jnanam is knowledge. What is the knowledge here? Understanding Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Okay. So Jnayam. Jnayam is the goal of knowledge. That is Paramatma. The subject is the knower, Jnani, and the object is known as Jnayam. Jnayam it is. Okay. Yes, Grishma Mataji, you're there? 13th. Yes, dear. 1 and 2.
Yes, madam.
Hare Krishna.
Arjuna uvacha prakritim purusham chaiva kshetram kshetrajnyamev cha etadveditamicchami jnanam jneyam cha keshava. Shri Bhagavan uvacha idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityamidhi ibhidhiyate etadyo veti tam prahu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha.
It's for our understanding now. Arjuna is asking. We have read it in detail, but my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, Purusha, and the field and the knower of the field and the knowledge and the end of knowledge. So now Krishna is saying, this body, O son of Kunti, is called the field. This is the field. Okay, that's a Kshetra. Who knows his body is called the knower of the field. All right, third one, Kshetranyam.
क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोः ज्ञानं यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम.
So all three modes you can see here. Mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Of course, I don't see mode of... All right, it's okay. So one son of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all the bodies. So whatever is happening in all the bodies is the knower. And to understand this body and its owner is called knowledge. That's my opinion. Look at the field. This is the field. Okay. Field is what? Our body. Now who is working? Is working with all the knowledge. Who is inside? Krishna is inside. As a super soul, he is there. Okay. You see, okay, there. That knowledge of the field of activities and of the knower of activities is described by various sages in various Vedic writings. Okay. It is especially presented in Vedanta Sutra with all reasoning as to cause and effect. Vedanta Sutra is always, it comes under the, as all the Upanishads, and at the end of every Veda, Veda Anta Sutra. It is Ant. So at the end, all of them as a substance it's given. So everywhere that knowledge of the field of activities, the activities that happens in the by the knower. Who is the knower? Who is there as a super soul inside every living entity. So it's all described in our Vedic writings. So now next we move on to the Annamaya Pranamaya, that Pancha Kosha. Okay, 5 things that is there in the super soul and in all the souls. That is a manifestation of Supreme Lord's energy. So it's in the form of the energy. When you eat food, that is Annamaya. Annamaya is Annamaya Kosh, dependence upon food for existence. This is the materialistic realization of the Supreme. Then comes Pranamaya. The next stage is Pranamaya. After realizing the supreme absolute truth in food, one can realize the absolute truth in the living symptoms or life forms. When you do pranayama, you know that, Pranamaya, he is there as a, that is the realization. In Jnanamaya, realization extends beyond the living symptoms to the point of thinking, feeling, and willing. So all the jnana, that is the knowledge. So thinking, feeling, willing, that's what we have been explaining again and again. Then there is Brahman realization called Vijnanamaya, in which the living entity's mind and life symptoms are distinguished from the living entity itself. The next and the supreme stage is Anandamaya, realization of all blissful nature, Satchidananda. So, doesn't move. Annamaya, then, from the bodily form, Pranamaya, then comes Jnanamaya. From Jnanamaya, you're seeing Vijnanamaya, and then Anandamaya. So different levels, that is step of Paramatma realization in the living entity. That's what you're seeing here, okay? So Annamaya is the bottom level, that is in the stomach, and that is the fire. So in Pranamaya, which is through this part, like lungs, heart, that is in the Vayu form. Jnanamaya and Vijnanamaya is in the intellectual mind, that is in the intelligence. Anandamaya is the final, that is Satchidananda, in the Supreme Soul sitting inside the living entity in the Anandamaya. So Kshetram, now when you said that, Kshetram is the body related Panchabhutam, Adibhutam. So body is the earth form, then blood is in the water form, breath in the air form, Panchakosha. Hotness of the body is the fire form, empty place is the ether. 6 and 7, Mataji.
Yes, ma'am. महाभूतान्यहङ्कारो बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च इन्द्रियाणि दशैकं च पञ्चचेन्द्रिययोगचराः इच्छा द्वेषः सुखं दुःखं सङ्गातश्चेतना धृतिः एतत् क्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारमुदाहृतम्.
So the 5 great elements, okay, false ego, intelligence, and the unmanifested, the triguna, the 10 senses, the mind, the 5 sense objects, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms, and convictions, all these are considered in summary to be the field of activities and its interactions. So these are all for the field of activities, and they interact. How do they interact? Only with your 3 modes. Mode of passion, and then first is mode of goodness, mode of passion, and then mode of your ignorance, sattva, rajas, and tamas. So they are the unmanifested form, but then it gets manifested in this material world. So that is an explanation. 24 elements of material nature. Kshetram, that is the field of activities. 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. 5. This I had given in the Sankhya Yoga time also. False ego, 1. Intelligence, 1. Unmanifested stage of 3 modes of nature, that is 1. Acquiring senses, Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, okay, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and touch. Then how the human body receives sensory information. 5 working senses, voice, legs, hands, anus, genitals. Then object of senses, smell, taste, warmth, touch, sound. Above all is the mind. So everything, it's the mind that you have seen in those sensory gratification, and all your everything is in your mind. That is, you hold all those reins in your hand, and the intelligence in the soul is just watching. Yes, this is very, very important. 8 to 12 shlokas. I would like you all to write it down and check yourself. 1.5 scale, where do I stand? Humility, pridelessness, non-violence. So Krishna has already given, these are all the virtues. So if it is so, you write it down and give, make a scale 1.5. And then in 1.5 scale, where I am, and after going through in detail Bhagavad Gita, and where do I move on? Okay. Yes, Mataji.
अमानित्वम् अधम्बित्वम् अहिंसा शान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यमात्मा विनिग्रहः इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् असक्तिनिरभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारागृहादिषु नित्यं ससमचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जन संसदि आध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा.
Beautiful. Grishma Mataji, you really, very nicely you chant the shlokas without any difficulty. That's beautiful. Okay. So this is very, very important. And of course, it will be posted. So what you can do is give the scale. Okay. Humility, amanitvam, not to be anxious, to have satisfaction of being honored. So, and somebody is watching you and you will say, oh my God, he doesn't even bother. He never said thank you. He never acknowledged, I did so much. So not necessary. Okay. Not to be anxious, to have satisfaction of being honored, that you're always honored. Not necessary. Krishna is watching, you're doing your prescribed duty. Fine. That's it. Pridelessness. Adhambitvam, dhambam is like becoming pride. So adhambitvam, understanding you are not the body, and thus honor and dishonor are the same. So that's what we did in the second chapter. So once you understand that it's not the body, honor, you give the respect or no respect, it doesn't matter to me. Non-violence. See, once you get into this, non-violence is not just, hitting somebody, but even your thought, even your from manasa, vacha, vak, whatever you speak, whatever you think, anything negative is also violence. So that has to be, we have to restrict ourselves. This is for your internal purity. Unless one elevates people to spiritual knowledge, one is practicing violence. So that's how it is. Tolerance. Okay, so how do we tolerate? Be practiced to bear insult and dishonor from others. Get the practice. He said, how can I forget? I can never forget. He did this, she did this. We all keep lamenting about it. So we have to come out of it. That's what Krishna says here. Simplicity, arjavam, so straightforward that you can disclose the truth even to an enemy. How many of us will do? Accepting spiritual master. It's very important. This is essential. Okay, acharya upasanam. Then cleanliness. Shaucham is not only from outside that you wash your hands or you take shower, take bath, but chanting, that becomes internal purification. Steadiness, that is dhairyam. Determined to make progress in spiritual life. We need to have mahavishwasam, that faith and determination. Self-control, atma vinigraho, reject anything unfavorable to spiritual advancement. Control the senses. So whichever is stopping you, we need to get out of that. Renunciation of sense object. Indhyaya arthenu vairagyam. Vairagyam, not to cater to unnecessary demands, gratified only to keep body fit for Krishna's devotional service. Absence of false ego. Anahikaro, that is reject, I am the body of the mind, accept that I am Krishna's servant. Always think I am this body or mind. No, I am only Krishna's servant. Perceptions of evil, that is regularly hear about these from the proper source, become disgusted with material life. So you keep listening, the spiritual masters, Vani. What happens is automatically, slowly, that this material life, you will get disgusted. Oh, this doesn't have any, it's perishable. It is temporary. So it will really pull you to get entangled. Detachment, asakti, that is be ready to sacrifice everything for Krishna. What is sacrifice here? Sacrifice is your pleasure. What pleasure? Understanding and enjoying Krishna consciousness is also a pleasure. But watching and going and having a party, with all that intoxication or everything. I mean, so, one day, it's fine. It's a college, everybody is asking. So that sort of slowly and gradually, one has to come out of it. Okay. So that is sacrifice. I love this, but then today is Ekadashi. I have to restrict myself. Slowly and gradually, that is how we sacrifice. No entanglement with wife, children, family, etc. Putra dhara gahadinu. That doesn't mean that you don't do your work, you don't do what you are, what is your duty. What is entanglement? I am looking after my son or daughter just because I know in my old age they are going to take care of me and they're going to make a bangla for me. They are going to make. No, that is entanglement. But you keep doing your work, you keep giving good education, help them, and that's your that's Krishna's wish. So should practice if you can do it in Krishna's way. Renounce if unfavorable for Krishna consciousness. Renounce in that form of renouncement, detachment. So even-mindedness. Nitya cha samachittatvam, samam. Okay. So not elated or distressed at material gain or loss by performing unbreakable devotional service. So when you are doing devotional service, whatever, it's not for material gain or loss. You keep doing it. Unalloyed devotional service. Ananya bhakti, that's the important one. Engaging oneself in the 9 process of bhakti. You remember Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Padasevanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Vandanam, then Atma Nivedanam. So aspiring to live in a solitary place, Vivikta Deja Seviktam, not desiring to mix with materialistic people, live in the association of devotees, visiting Vrindavan, visiting Sri Rangam, visiting Maya. I think Mayapur, many of you would have gone also, but now they are arranging trips for youth. Very soon it will be announced. I think Mathura, Vrindavan, maybe those trips are coming up, maybe in February, but then be with us. So, going to those places. Okay. I shall now explain the knowable knowing, which you will taste the eternal Brahman, the spirit beginningless and subordinate to me, lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. So this is the knowledge is giving. It lies beyond the material world. So which is anadi, okay, which is beginningless and subordinate to me. Yes, Mataji. The 15th shloka.
सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्चैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च.
So the super soul is the original source of all senses. Please remember, super soul is there, but that's the original source of all senses. Yet he is without senses. He is unattached, although he is the maintainer of all living beings. He transcends the modes of nature and at the same time is the master of all modes of material nature. He is not attached, okay? He is unattached, but he is the maintainer and he is the creator. He is the one who, in the unmanifested form, he is the original source of all these senses also. But he is not into it. He doesn't get entangled to it. It's all contradictory statement. Isha Upanishad, when you read, you will understand that, he's far, he's close, he's big, he's the largest, he's the tiniest. So everything. So he is a creator of all these material senses, but he's not into it. He doesn't get entangled. So he's without senses. He's unattached to all this. Yes. 16th shloka.
बहिरन्तश्च भूतानाम् अचरं चरमेव च सूक्ष्मत्वात् तद्विज्ञेयं दूरस्त्वं चान्तिके च तत्.
Supreme truth exists both internally and externally, in the moving and non-moving. He is beyond the power of material senses to see or to know. We can't see, we can't perceive, we cannot know. That's why we need, Krishna's pastimes and those stories, and Krishna as a deity, and Krishna's temple, Krishna as a person whom we can decorate and do archana, do aradhana, because it's so difficult to perceive. Is also far, far away, but is very, very near to all. Is very, very near to all. You heard yesterday, like Kir Chor story. So how he understood what was happening in his devotee's mind, that I wish I give this sweet rice. So what does it mean? He's so close to you. He's nearer. He's listening. But we cannot perceive him. He's very far. He's beyond this material senses. The supreme truth exists both internally, So that's what we are watching. He's there, even inside the fetus, is beyond the power of material senses to see or to know. Very far, very near. So he is a source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is knowledge. See, Krishna, Krishna. He is the object of knowledge and he is the goal of knowledge, and he is situated in everyone's heart. It's very, very clear. So this image is like, light is a source of light in all luminous objects, beyond the darkness of matter, and is unmanifested. So his knowledge is the object of knowledge. He is a knowledge, object of knowledge, goal of knowledge. That is the process, the end product, and the way, the beginning. So, when you set a goal, what happens is, what is the objective, and then the process, that is the way to achieve, and the end product, that also is the one. So he is situated in everyone's heart. So you are seeing these two birds here. See, one bird is eating all the fruits, which is, all of us here. And the other one sitting as an antaryami, just watching. There's a field of activities, that is the body. Knowledge and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain my nature. They can attain my nature once they understand me, that he's watching, he's inside us, he's there everywhere, he's around us, he is the Kshetran, it is his body, Kshetran, he's the cause for all the activities that is happening in this material world. Okay, so material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. You're seeing all these species here. And their transformations and the modes of matter are products of material nature. Okay, he's there residing in all the living entities, is there in all the species, he is there, and it should be understood that he's the beginningless. So soul is beginningless, super soul is beginningless, anadi. We don't know when it began. So anadi, and it is eternal. Okay, 21. Karyakaranam.
कार्यकारणकर्तृत्वे हेतुप्रकृतिरुच्यते पुरुषः सुखदुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते.
Thank you, Mataji. Nature is said to be the cause of all material activities, okay, and its effects. Whereas a living entity is the cause of various sufferings and the enjoyments in this world. So the nature is there. Prakriti is there. It doesn't do, but is the cause of all these material activities. Who does everything? It's the living entities, they do it. Why do they do it? Because they have this material nature. They have been the instrument to do all this. Okay, so they are the cause for various sufferings. No one else is the cause. And enjoyment, sufferings as well as enjoyments. Purusha.
Purusha prakritistasto hi bhunte prakritijan gunan karanam gunasangosya sadasadyo nijanmasu. The
living entity in material nature thus follows a way of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. Only the human beings, okay? So imagine all the living entities that you see here in the image. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus he meets with good and evil amongst various species. We'll be doing in detail about this animal kingdom, who does what and where do they reach and where do they go after the death. So once we have got this human life, we have that sixth sense of understanding and knowing and connecting with the super soul. So that is the reason, go back to Godhead, go back to your house. And for that, you keep working on it. We keep working to have one more stair, one more car, one more moped, one more. That is all perishable. That also needs to be done. But then our ultimate goal has to be kept in the mind that no, I have to get liberated, get elevated. Okay. Yes, Mataji. 23.
उपद्रष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरः परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः.
These are all philosophical knowledge that Krishna is giving it to Arjuna because Arjuna asked for it. Okay, and this will strengthen our bhakti. This will strengthen that who is Krishna? Why are we doing? So that strength will come because we are entangled. Yet in this body, there is another, a transcendental enjoyer who is the Lord. That Paramatma is the one who is enjoying. The supreme proprietor who exists as an overseer and permitter and who is known as a super soul. He is the permitter, he is the overseer, he is watching, he is sitting inside and watching, and then he is not the person who gets entangled. But that intuition and the gut feeling and the first thought process, whatever decision you have to take, it's his voice. It's his voice because he's the supreme proprietor for everything. Once you start thinking, I am the doer, then we are gone. When you know that he is the knower, he is the enjoyer, he is the one who knows everything, he's inside us. Okay. So I'm sure many of you know, but then this particular image is there in many of our chapters. So I would really want one of you, maybe like tomorrow or day after, do tell about Parikshit Maharaja and Sukadev. Okay, Vyasa's son is Sukha Goswami, who explained Bhagavatam in 7 days. So this story also you should know, and I'm sure many of you know also. You can share here. One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity and the interaction of the modes of nature is sure to attain liberation. So he knew like in 7 days is going to die. So this philosophy about material nature, once you know, he will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position. Okay. So some perceive the super soul within themselves through meditation, others through the cultivation of knowledge, and still others through working without fruitive desires. The best thing is that, you have all this knowledge, you keep cultivating that knowledge, but still easiest way, the best way is chanting and then working without fruitive desires. I do everything because I don't have any desire, but I have to do just for Krishna. That is our way of thinking. That super soul is perceived by some through the same thing. This image, what you see is meditation, Vedic scriptures, and the other person is just working on without any desire, just leaving it to Krishna. Okay, so this is Devahuti. Kapila Muni is explaining. Okay, so Vanaprastha, she wants to know, and from her own son, who is the incarnation again, Krishna's incarnation, Avesha, this one, Kardama Prajapati's wife Devahuti, he takes renunciation and he goes to the forest, and she wants to know. So Brahma had already told that she is going to get Lord himself as a son, and he is the person who is going to explain her for the liberation. Again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the supreme person upon hearing about him from others. Because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death. Yes, Mataji, 27. Oh, the shloka is not here. So, as you have already chanted, and that's why I'm going only with the translation. Oh, chief of Bhartas, whatever you see in existence, both moving and unmoving, is only the combination of the field of activities, okay, and the knower of the field. So the field of activity, the material nature, the supreme soul, existence, everything is there. The knowledge and the one who knows the knowledge and the way to achieve the knowledge, the goal. But then who is always active? It is our material body and the soul inside Jivatma. It is always active and gets into these modes. Mode of passion, mode of ignorance, and mode of the desire. Because of the desire and anxiety, and we do commit a lot of mistakes. Okay, to get entangled again and again. Yes, Mataji.
समं सर्वेषु भूतेषु तिष्ठन्तं परमेश्वरं विनश्यन्तं यः पश्यति स पश्यति.
Yes, one who sees the super soul accompanying the individual soul in all bodies, and who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul is ever destroyed, actually sees that is always there. We don't know the super soul and the soul is been always there. Okay, that understanding is the knowledge. That is the understanding. So it is never ever destroyed. It is never ever cut. It is never ever, it cannot be. In the second chapter itself, we have seen what is the quality of the soul, that na hanyante. So you cannot kill, you cannot cut into pieces, you cannot burn it, nothing can happen, but it's eternal. So it keep accompanying. This individual soul and the super soul accompanies one another always. Okay. So it's all there in all the living entities. One who sees the super soul in every living being and equal everywhere does not degrade himself by the mind. Thus he approaches the transcendental destination. We know the destination. One who can see all activities are performed by the body. The body does the activities, and which is created by this material nature, and sees that the self does nothing, actually sees, is only seeing, okay? But what is that? It is performed by the body, which is created in the material nature. So what is happening? Everything this body does, but somebody is guiding from inside. So beautiful image it is. Okay, the sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything, although it is all pervading. Similarly, the soul situated in Brahman vision does not mix with the body, those situated in that body. You need to study in detail, because I'm also going a little fast. It's the knowledge that you need to have. It's the jnana. Okay. So son of Bharata, as a sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body of consciousness. The consciousness is eliminated. Okay. That is just the soul, because of the soul. And the sun alone illuminates all this universe. The same way, all your Navadwara, your all 72,000, the nerves, everything, every body part is all because of the consciousness inside. Consciousness is because of the soul. Okay, one who knowingly sees this difference between the body and the owner of the body and can understand the process of liberation from this bondage also attains the supreme goal. Supreme goal kya hai hamara? Liberation, birth and death se bahar. So once you know this, and this body, who is the owner of the body? We know it. Now, who is what is the, once we understand the process of liberation from this bondage, who is going to really, where do we reach? The supreme goal is to reach the Goloka. So this particular thing, when we understand, we will be able to achieve that. So Arjuna's 6 questions were answered here. Description of Kshetra Kshetrajna Jnana, then process of acquiring knowledge, then Nyayam, object of the knowledge, Prakriti Purusha and union, then vision of knowledge. I was little, I'm going little hurriedly, because I have 5 minutes of beautiful, I will share that. What is it, that 24 guru? So now Yadu is asking, okay, Yadu is like, Yadu is the king. Now he is seeing that this is Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakara Karanam. He is a Krishna who is known as Govinda, is a supreme godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body, he is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all the causes. So King Yadu was very inquisitive. So to find out the actual situation of the Brahmana, in reply to the king, the saintly, he said, Dattatreya, he says, I don't mind about this 24 elements that we have in the material nature, but I use them as my spiritual masters. So all these spiritual 24 elements, Dattatreya has taken as the spiritual master. It's there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Who is the master? I have taken shelter by this 24 gurus who are following the earth, air, sky, water. So we will see this quickly. What does the earth teaches us? It teaches dharma, art of tolerance, performing duty, learn patience, forgiveness from earth. Okay, so please write down 1 to 1.5 scale, how much patience I have, how much tolerance I have, how much kind I am, and how much duty I'm doing. Do I forgive? So this is what earth teaches. What does Vayu teaches? Vayu teaches that you be unaffected. People put all the dirt and world disturbances, the air blows out of control. But the air, the Supreme Personality of Godhood, Krishna, what does it we think about him only? So the air has taught him that the sky having no boundaries. So beyond the material nature, infinite in nature. Sometimes clouds, they cover the sky, but then the soul is omnipresent, all pervading. And how many births, how many deaths, how many times we have taken birth? How do we get liberated? We have to come out of it. How do we do it? Only by devotional services. Don't accumulate all more sins. How do we stop that? Being kind, being nice, being the wonderful soul, that jivatma has to come out of all this. So from water, what do we learn? What do we learn? The sage is like water. So free from all impurities, gentle in nature. While speaking, he creates beautiful vibrations like flowing of water, seeing, touching, hearing. So from every element, how optimistic the Avadhuta, the Dattatreya, he took 24 elements as the guru. Okay, from fire, from moon, from sun, from pigeon. So pigeon is story like, developing obsessive love and attachment. That's how, he loses everybody. They fall into the trap. Like this, from Ajigar, from Python also is learning. Honey bee, honey thief, honey gatherer. Okay, then bird. We can't go so much in detail. I'm really hurrying you up, being that 24 elements, is it our enemy or is it our friend? That's what we need to compare. So how, even having this material nature, that Adibhuta, Adideva, that also has become the guru for Dattatreya. So Yadu is asking, and is really the amazing answers. Even grasshopper, from ocean, okay, then from elephant, from deer, from fish, and from Pingala, dancing girl, a child, maiden, everything is teaching. The arrow, the spider. Spider is a beautiful web, and then what happens? They themselves get into it, and then they die. Caterpillar, even caterpillar. So my body teaches me jnana and vairagya. Birth and death are along with it. It means that if we hold on to this body, then we have to bear sorrows. Although it helps to think about tattva, that is all these elements, still I never consider it as mine. To please whatever body, the living being is always busy in desiring many things, does karma, and collects wealth with great difficulties. The same body is destroyed after its time is completed. So although Bhagavan created many yonis, as many as 84 millions, but he did not get satisfied with them. He created Manushya Yoni, that is human being. So moksha, that is liberation, is the only mean and the end for everything. That is what this teaching explains. 24 elements, 24 gurus. Okay, from this material nature itself has become the guru for this that is Dattatreya. Okay, so I will stop here. Any question if you have, you can write it there, and I'm sure you are filling the forms, whatever Prajesh Prabhu is posting. So fill in for the voluntary form, fill in for the level 2, and we will open the group where you can write. Do not leave, be in this journey, don't jump off the running train. Okay, so Krishna is explaining many things. Any Devamrita Basu Prabhu, tomorrow you're going to sing, you have said, so come prepared. Rupa Manjari Mataji, your explanation and your singing. Grishma Mataji is going to chant the shlokas. Okay, so I'll stop here. Any question, please write down, we'll answer them. Rajesh Prabhu, thank you. You can start the, see, I try to ask you to wind up and close the thing with the mantra, with the chanting. Okay, start.
Mataji, one more thing I want to ask the devotees, if any devotees living in Mangalore, they can join the temple once a day, that is tomorrow. We're going for Sankirtan and Bhakti.
It's actually, no, it's getting cut. Pradesh Prabhu is explaining if anybody in Mangalore can join what?
On Sunday, that is tomorrow, we are going for Nagar Sankirtan and book distribution.
Oh, okay. The book distribution and other. Okay. That's wonderful. So they can join. You can write and then join ISKCON Radha Govinda Temple, Mangalore. Okay, so join Prajesh Prabhu. You can just write in the group. He will maybe give the details.
Yes, Mataji. They can message me personally, give them the details, like place, like
Okay.
moment and the time, and I'll give.
Okay,
Yes.
beautiful. Very nice. Hare Krishna. Thank you so
Right.
much. Hare Krishna. Okay. Yeah. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Thank you so much, and be in that sadhu sangha. I will end the meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you,
of you. Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Oh, Srijita Mataji is here. Very good.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you
I
feeling
joined
okay?
8 to